Oh, there we are. How's it going, everyone? Hold on. I'm gonna share this to some other things and see if some other people can join us. Copy that link. 2 seconds. Okay. Yeah, we're back. I just wanted to share the link to the Facebook. That way, other people on the other parts of the world can show up and hang out and talk. Um, we're talking about the authoritarian state situation that's going on, and the private contracted uh, situation going on with Palantir, Peter Thiel, and the CIA, and why this is dangerous, and why using artificial intelligence to pull together all the databases and catalog and categorize everyone is, I don't know, it's a scary new level of um, invasion of privacy. Maybe, I don't know. Um, I think it's not that the government's capable of doing it. I think it's more that what we have to worry about how it's going to be used. You know. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are aware who Peter Thiel is, but I don't know how trustworthy that person is with all of our personal data and information. Um, so that's a weird thing. Is Peter Thiel was born in Germany, and his buddy Elon Musk was born in fucking South Africa. No, this background picture is an example of Trump's police state. Hold on, let's do another one. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Trump's police state, right? And the overreaching authoritarianism and accelerationism going on in America. Uh, uh I don't know. Are you guys okay with it? Oh, Sam. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure some trolls are gonna show up and they're gonna throw all those 4chan zingers at me, thinking I've never heard them before, like I'm just some noob who's this is my first day on the internet, right? Yeah, hey, I'm new here. Uh, anyway, yeah, this situation where you have like it's been going on longer than I think most people realize, but we have like the NSA Prism, which Edward Snowden was trying to warn people about, and that is when you have these clandestine, private contracted security and intelligence firms brokering data and information sets that might not be ethical, you know, that might be a little problematic. So. Uh, the idea of Peter Thiel and Donald Trump being best buddies and in a situation to not only compile but possibly broker other people's data should scare other people. Uh, yeah, you're right, Sam. Trump is a fucking dumb shit. No, I don't like Donald Trump. I'm making fun of Donald Trump with this image, but it gets your attention, right? Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to talk about the authoritarianism of the Trump police state situation going on, like that. Uh, let's see. No, no, that's not the one. Yeah, there we go. We're going to talk about Trump's police state and why, if we're going to start deporting immigrants, we should start with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk. and then go from there, right? But we're gonna start there. Um, anyway, save money, live better, right? And Trump supporters don't want to save money or live better. They're mad at Walmart, right? Why are Trump supporters mad at Walmart? Why? We'll find out. Wait, let's. That's why. The far-right group Libs of Chicago is encouraging MAGA supporters to boycott Walmart due to one of its stakeholders promoting anti-Trump protests. Why is everyone protesting? What is No Kings about? Uh, yeah, it's about shitting on his birthday. Duh. You're like, fuck him. Fuck him and his birthday. We're gonna go to the zebra for a minute. There we go. This is Ed. He's a zebra, and he's apparently back home with his family, back on his farm. And you know, it's weird. In that photo is kind of what it looks like here today. So it almost looks like I'm there with Ed, right? Say hello to Ed. Anyway, back to the Trump debacle situation. Let's see. There we go. There we go. This is a good one. Yeah, like we kind of knew the relationship between Elon and Trump was going to erode, right? Like we kind of saw that coming. But I think a lot of people weren't paying attention to Peter Thiel and Project 2025 and the JD Vance factor, right? And what's up with JD Vance? Like, you know, is it not strange that Peter Thiel funded his political career and education? You know, and it's safe to say that, you know, he probably was a bonesman when he went to Yale. Because, you know, you don't really get yourself into these kinds of positions unless you're willing to, you know, be part of that. But there was this peculiar thing that Alex Jones used to talk about, was that how Bohemian Grove and Skull and Bones and some of these like fancy secret societies in Northern California and San Francisco were somewhat connected, right? And there's more and more evidence that points to that being, you know, possibly the case. And possibly, you know, there is some conceivable agenda happening in, you know, a long-term plan that, you know, you can go back to the Bush-Kerry election of 2004, right? Or the Bush-Kerry, that general election of 2004. And, you know, the fact that both George Walker Bush and John Kerry were both Skull and Bones. And, you know, Prescott Bush and George Herbert Walker Bush were also Skull and Bones. And, you know, John Kerry married into the Heinz ketchup family. And all that, you know, there's all that kind of stuff to consider. Where you've got, like, two people that are on the same team who pretend like they're, you know, on these opposing teams. Delicious. Finally, some good ones. Hey, I got some more. Let's go. Let's go. Let's deep in the vaults here. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Walmart authoritarianism too, because like Walmart has been more and more vocal, and the shareholders of Walmart have been more and more vocal, and that's, you know, that's what's upsetting Trump supporters, I think, which is funny, like, because they're mad at Christy Walton, which Christy Walton is just, you know, luckily a Walmart shareholder, like, but her husband owned Arvest Bank, right? He was one of the founding people of Arvest Bank, which is basically Walmart's brand of banking, where Legacy National is Tyson's brand of banking, but they're both, you know, pretty prominent banks around here. But they're upset that Chrissy Walton is she's funding ad campaigns to let people know about the upcoming nationwide protests for the No Kings, right? And that is upsetting people. And it's funny. It's funny to me because the idea of Trump supporters trying to boycott Walmart is laughable, given that you really don't have a whole lot of options to shop anymore, and that should scare people more than it does. It might be different where you are. You know, you might have more grocery stores and department stores, but around here, it's you feel dumb to go anywhere but Walmart, right? Like that's just the key option. We're gonna change the background again to uh, Epstein. Okay, Trump, Elon, Peter Thiel, all these people. Like, does it matter whether or not they were on Epstein Island? Like, they might as well have been. Like, um, and I think people just need to start wrapping their mind around that. They need to start wrapping their mind around how deeply intertwined Clinton was with Epstein, and how deeply intertwined a lot of people were. But a lot of people forget to talk about that. It was Bill Clinton who kind of nudged and challenged Donald Trump to run for president, thinking that he would give Hillary Clinton a good, formidable opponent that they could easily beat. And it was kind of a joke, being like, "Oh, you ought to run for president," and he fucking did. And god damn it, what an asshole, right? Slick Willie. You guys hear the rumors that Bill Clinton might have AIDS? You know, and that's half believable, man, because you never know what he got up to. But I think there were some people that were sharing some photos of him looking like deathly ill and be like, "Ah, Bill Clinton's not doing good," but that could have been Photoshop. You never know. You never know with the internet these days. Sam, what are you up to, bud? How's it going in your world? Keeping a gangster? I don't know if you guys can hear the lawnmowers. I'm going to change this picture. I don't know what it does to the feed, but let's go. Let's do this. Memes, algorithms, and the secret third thing. Stop gatekeeping the secret third thing, right? What is the secret third thing? Well, it's a secret, but don't gatekeep it. And, all right. It's the Care Bears. Wanted to let you guys know that we're starting a Care Bear cult. And rule number one is you got to give a shit. You got to care. And rule number two is no sads. No being sad. Rule number three is no being mad. Don't be mad. And I don't know. Do you guys know what Y is? Where's Jason Pellish at? He says he knows what Y is. I don't think he knows what Y is. Maybe Jason Pellish and Guion Hughes will get on here. I posted a link up. You know, maybe I should hit him in the messenger. Hold on. Right. We're gonna have a party. I hope it just like stays to that weird green screen image while I'm gone. I don't know what happens if it just goes dark or the transmission ends or what. That is a cartoonized manhole cover. All right. There. This is more appropriately themed to discuss the topic. Just had to take some ibuprofen. It's been one of those kinds of days. Uh, Lots of heat, lots of sun. So that's been going on. Uh, Dehydration. You gotta stay hydrated. Drinking lots of Gatorade, water, coffee. But I did mow the shit out of the yard. I'd show it to you, but I'm on green screen mode. Yeah, I'd have to flip the camera. Can I do that? Can I flip it? Yep. Oh, no. Look at that. Fucking crazy. Flip it again. There we go. I like the YouTube live because I can do the green screen thing, where the Facebook live doesn't give you that. And then somebody was like, "Oh, you could stream into Facebook live from your desktop from an app," and I'm like, "Dude, that means I can't do it in my backyard." So, and YouTube seems to be a little bit more global, globos. Um, if you're watching from other places in the world, I would like to learn dirty words and dirty phrases in other languages. So please hit me up, send me a message, send me a comment, and teach me how to say curse words in your language. I want to learn how to say all the rude things in all the languages. Please. I have a I my cousin bought me a book that is um, world insults of the world, like, or different insults from around the world, and I'm really into that. I'm really into knowing how people talk shit in other parts of the world. Uh, you know, so hit me up on that. Oh, I'm gonna stop pacing around. I'm gonna sit here. Um, I decided to stop working for the day because it's gonna rain soon, and I was just kind of tired. I had a headache. I wanted to take some ibuprofen and fucking just sit at home. Well, I'm just gonna sit here and be live. What do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about some big think shit? Ask me some big think questions. What's some big think questions for the day? It's too bad we can't put music on with it. But we got the lawnmowers. That's cool. Just as soon as I said that, it stopped. Oh, there we're back. We're back. We are back. It's just as much your job to entertain me as it is for me to entertain you. Ask me anything. Ask me why I've chosen this photo in the background. In this conversation about Peter Thiel. It's because we need help. Flamingo. The flamingo is a bird native to Africa. You guys know why flamingos are pink? It's blood. They're actually white. Bet you didn't know that. Maybe you did. Maybe you watched the same television show I watched. Big think stuff. Ask me some big think questions. Like, Israel, Palestine, Russia, Ukraine, Wagner Group. I think more people need to start talking about private contracted security and intelligence firms, right? Because they exist and they are all too powerful, but yet most people are dummies and they don't realize how things actually work. And that a lot of intelligence is brokered and valuable. Um, it wasn't SEAL Team 6 that found bin Laden. No, it was other people. And then that intelligence was then brokered. That was a cash grab, right? Hillary Clinton. It's my theory that the Clinton Foundation funded the private contracted security and intelligence firm that found bin Laden and then brokered that intelligence to herself, basically. And it was like, Mr. Obama, President, I I have a fucking deal for you. And yeah, that's why she was there in that situation. Anyway, that's just my theory. It's my conspiracy theory, right? Anyway, that's why I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't stomach it. I had to vote for Jill Stein, or but I didn't vote for Trump, and I've never voted for Trump. I'm never going to vote for Trump. Not now, not ever. I'm never going to support Trump because he's a Gemini. First off, I do not support Gemini politicians, and nobody should, right? Um, and I don't support Libra billionaires and politicians. Like, did you know that Alice Walton and Vladimir Putin were born on the same day, and which happens to be October 7th, which happens to be the day that Hamas attacked Israel? Look it up. Get on your other window and open a window and look it up. That was all, like, fact check me. I love that. When is Vladimir Putin's birthday? When is Alice Walton's birthday? And when did Hamas attack Israel? And it was all the same day. Not exactly the same day, like, Alice Walton is a few years older than Vladimir Putin, I think. But Vladimir Putin was a private contractor, security and intelligence person himself. Like, not just like Kremlin affairs, but we're talking like that dude's been around longer than most people realize. And I thought it was funny that Yakov Smirnov is a person to point this out, but it's almost like most Americans forgot that the Soviet Union collapsed in the 90s. And it's like a lot of Americans forget the whole entire plot to the movie Black Hawk Down, or what was going on in Bosnia, or the conflicts we were involved in during the Clinton administration, right? Because they weren't wars, technically. And like me, I don't think I was old enough to really truly understand what was going on, but I had like family members who were overseas fighting, so I understood that part of it. I think, when you have a family member who's fighting in the war or overseas for some situation, you kind of want to understand why, and that's why I'm acutely aware of that. Uh, like the movie Black Hawk Down and all that shit too. Um, yeah, that was it was an interesting climate going on in the Soviet Union in the during that era. So Putin came in with like this promise to stabilize that, really, and bring it back to prosperity, and he's done that for those people in their own little way. We may not agree with it, and I'm definitely not advocating for it. I'm just saying that, like on their propaganda machine, yeah, he's perhaps maybe he's done good by them. I don't fucking know. But it is weird that he's been in power for so long. Like what, since 2000, since like around 2000 to now. Like we're talking 25 years. Imagine having Trump as your president for 25 fucking years. Fuck that. But I think the documents out there about Trump being an asset of Russia are actually quite credible, and more people should be privy to that and pay attention. Because if we are moving towards some form of fascist globalism, you got to think that there's going to be people who are going to fight over which version of that we're moving towards. And um, what's going on at the UN and the conversations that are happening at the UN are not the same ones that are happening here in our political arena, right? You know, at the UN, they're talking about how to solve problems in around the world, like how to deal with problems in third world countries, how to deal with real fucking shit and make people's lives better, possibly. And that's not the same for everyone, right? Hold on. New picture day. We're gonna go with, let's see. Yeah. We're gonna go with Lame Duck Donald, right? This image behind me was made by Magog Molotov, aka James Vaughn. And you know, he saw a lot of people talking about ducks, and he saw a lot of people talking about bananas and Donald Trump, and he decided to make a meme for the moment, and I appreciate it because it is a meme for the moment. It would be cool if he would come back and, you know, do some more of that stuff, especially with AI being the way it is. I think he would have fun with that. Maybe he's against it. I don't know. From what I understand, he did a lot of those memes and edits via his just smartphone devices, so it was pretty cool. We're just gonna keep hanging out live. We're waiting to see if some people want to show up and comment. I might even put myself on my own TV and then see how far the delay is. This is a silly picture. Let's see. Bam. Do you guys ever fuck with AI and try to get it to spit out magic stuff, magic symbols, things? Well, like it came up with that, and like you could think what you will about it. It's interesting. I don't disagree with it. Like there's nothing about it that like stands out as like I can't get behind that. But I don't know what the computer's trying to say with it, right? If I were to interpret it between its angularness, you know, I like that it's got something pointing up, right? And then it's got some crosshairs. It's the circle. It could be interpreted in a number of ways. Symbolism, magic. Speaking of. I don't know if you remember David Griffin of the Golden Dawn, but he was really curious and wanted to know who made these memes about him, and he was like willing to offer like $50 for it. So David Griffin, feel free to send me $50. I'll take the blame for that one. Uh, let's see, there's more of those. This is one of my favorite ones, right? It's Laughs and Griffin. Like, and it basically, it embodies the, it embodies the misogynistic male occultist, right? Of where no matter what you say to them, they'll just be a contrarian cuck fucking dipshit. And like this dude, this guy right here, David Griffin, right? He claimed, you know, semantics, that's what Jason calls it. He claimed to make a magical force field for Donald Trump, right? And he was also working with Alex Jones back there in 2017 and stuff. And he was very much more prominent on YouTube there for a while. But anyway, he bought the licensing rights to Golden Dawn stuff, right? And so, yeah, he bought the licensing rights to the Golden Dawn literature and just started, you know, building his own little cults and selling literature online and stuff in his own workshops and doing Golden Dawn programs, which is basically like Masonic Rosicrucian shit, right? Pre-OTO magic shit. But he was very into the chaos magic groups, right? He was really into what the kids were up to. And so he was really into the Kekistan shit with Donald Trump and the meme magic that was going on in 4chan and all that stuff. And I think the reason he's not on the internet a whole lot anymore has to do more with like, I don't know, he just kind of, he lost his point at some point. Like everything that was emboldening him began to just fall apart for him. And he and I got into a fight one time in this Chaos Magic Fight Club, and it was about Florence Farr, right? And people who are like occult historians would know like Florence Farr was like they were very fond of Florence Farr. They made her like the first female chief adept of the Golden Dawn. And but I found it weird that like David Griffin, it's like almost didn't even know who that was. And it's like, dude, you're out here pretending to be the chief imperator or whatever you call yourself of the Golden Dawn, and you know, like you bought the licensing to it, but you don't even want to talk about the history of it, right? Anyway, like I'm not blood related to Florence Farr or anything. It's just that like I paid attention to that because they had my same last name, so I was like, that's interesting. And so I learned about them. And like I've bought, you know, some Golden Dawn books and things like that, but yeah, I didn't jive with David Griffin, and so I made some memes about him. Let's see. But yeah, we'll go there. Yeah. When, you know, he and Leslie were out there in their backyard a whole lot doing these rituals, like to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. And they were talking about like bringing back Jesus for real, doing the lost magic of Jesus. And I don't really know where, like I did try to look into what he was talking about, but I don't really know where he was coming from on a lot of that. Like I think he was talking about some possible rituals that he had gleaned from like the Dead Sea Scrolls or some shit like that, where you know, Jesus and Hermeticism, and it was like, okay, man, whatever. But they were very adamant about it there for a while, and I would actually tune in and watch sometimes. But then I was like, are you guys like doing it over and over again, just replaying the same sunrise and sunset over and over again, or are you like actually going live? Anyway, I don't really know what all happened with David Griffin and Leslie, and I don't really wish them any harm or any bad things. I know that they're not as out there as they used to be, but I know that he seemed to like have a serious beef with me there for a minute, and they came here to Northwest Arkansas to do a magic festival, and he headlined it, and I don't know how well that went or not. But it was like I thought that was kind of strange because it was just really out of pocket for this area. Got some weeds. My fucking fence thing here. I'm gonna pick them. Anyway, they're driving me crazy. Tilt your fucking phone. But yeah, we're just live in the backyard, guys. Look at this cute picture. It's a cartoonized picture of my wife and I on our anniversary this last year. And then there's a cartoonized version of me. Hold on, we got more. All right, here we go. Anyway, hot dog, jumping frog, Albuquerque. Will somebody explain to me who the fuck Billy Oatmeal is and why he's the mayor of Big Spring, Texas? Please. And do it like I'm 5 years old. Wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, I'm gonna share this link again. Copy link. I don't know if you guys can still see me when I'm navigating into other things. Don't really care. It's nitty gritty live day. We've been live for 38 minutes and 28 seconds. Dadgum. I'm carrying something. But this green screen technology just can't be beat. Fucking magic frogs, bananas. Anyway, I'm gonna close out this at the 40-minute mark and go live on the face space and confuse everybody. Have a good day.